Welcome back to The Real Contrast.
I'm Kyle A.
I'm Brian K. From Homes to Hearth, we bring the keys to success.
I'm glad you finished that one, because the last round I butchered it.
Keys to love and happiness.
Oh, it's true. It is true.
And
Hey,
stripper poles.
you know what? You know what the three most stressful things in people's lives are?
Three most. Hit me.
Experiences? One is the death, a wedding, and buying or selling property.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we made the top three.
Yeah.
Awesome.
You know, that's not the goal.
No.
It's not the goal to make it stressful.
No.
But, I mean, it does get a little stressful. I gotta admit. I just got one closing either tomorrow or Friday, but we're hoping for tomorrow. It has been a journey for my clients, and let me tell you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we get into contract, it's all good, and then find out that the funds come from somewhere overseas. Can't use them. Yay! You know, and then moving to the next one, and things don't work out, and so they're already hot from the last one. So the energy's already high, and the emotions are running, and then we get to the final one, and it's not even close to what they expect, but they do it, and we're close.
Nice.
Got them to home.
Nice.
Now the stress is over.
It's so emotional. I had a buyer write an offer, get an accepted offer on a listing of ours,
Yeah.
and the bank said, yeah, we'll approve you, you know, and she couldn't she couldn't prove the income the way that she wanted to, and
Right.
didn't do a traditional W-2, and the bank said nope, and she literally just threw her hands up and flat stopped looking. She was so upset.
Yeah.
Found the house, loved the house. The bank already said yes, and
Yeah.
then we got into this. A week into this, she had so many people jerking her one chain here and one chain there, and she's like, "Forget it. That's it. I'm done."
Yeah, there's a lot of that happening right now.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, I mean, you gotta think lenders are screaming for business. Houses are sitting on the market longer. So buyers.
So what's the good here? Give me some silver lining.
It's all
What's the
good. Well, the good is that we're in the profession of real estate, and we're professionals, so we can guide our clients the right way.
Yeah.
So there's absolutely a lot of great here.
Oh yeah.
Just because the market's going the way it is, doesn't mean it's bad. It just means we need to level up as far as our communication with our clients.
Bingo.
Be a little more direct, not forceful, but direct. They're like, here's the real situation. So if you're an agent, you need to bring all the paper, all the pens, all the graphs that are important, and explain everything so your clients know exactly what you're talking about, and make it simple, but make it truthful and make it direct. I don't see any other way around it. And I've learned over the course of 4.5 years in this, and I know that's still young in this industry, but I've done almost 100 transactions. So I mean, that's not too shabby.
Really good.
And we got to start somewhere. So whether you're a new agent or a seasoned agent, one thing you can't do is go in and be bashful about things just because you want a listing. That's not where we want to be as a profession.
No, actually, there's two trains of thoughts when someone wants to wants to list their house too high. Is you just say no thanks, appreciate it, call Kyle, or you take the listing and then you work on them getting. Now, I don't necessarily agree or disagree with either one of those options, but I think the most important thing is the first conversation.
Well, I think there's more than two trains of thought on that. And
Chew.
I think there's more than two trains of
It's
thought.
more like a laser gun, like pew pew pew.
Pew, pew. And the reason I say that is one of them is really unknown, right? One of them is like, was it in the direction of the seller? Was the seller the one given the directive here? Was it the agent overpricing a home to get a listing?
Bingo. I'm seeing that.
And that's not where we want to be, because man, that's heartache for everybody. That's heartache for the market. I mean, that's heartache on your clients.
Yep.
Now, if you're directing them to, and I call that the bait and switch kind of tactic, because basically you're putting these numbers, and their eyes are getting all googly, and they're having that money spent. Now they're set on it. Well, now what do? Oh, you got them under contract, and you're gonna what? You're gonna get leads out of the deal, and you're gonna hopefully talk them down. That's not the right way to go.
Nope.
And I'm not pointing fingers at people, but I know that happens. Matter of fact, talking to someone today, and I feel that's exactly what has happened with them as well. And they say, well, we trust, when there's people out there that don't trust agents, and there's people out there that actually put their trust in the agents. And when you're working with either one of them, you need to be trustworthy and honest, and you got to have your head to the market. And when I talk with my clients, after just showing them exactly what's going on, and they get experience a little bit, they don't even second guess you at that point. And that's where it needs to be, because you built trust through honesty and integrity, and you set the intention.
Yeah. And we're talking a lot about sellers here in this
Oh,
aspect,
absolutely.
saying, hey,
Well, buyers
the
too.
market's tough, but we can switch this around to buyers as well, because I know a lot of people are out there hunting for buyers right now. And, you've got to be straightforward, upfront, and honest with your buyers. Sit down, oh my gosh, you have to have a buyer consultation and have paperwork signed before I go. But that is the best thing that's happened for this industry, because I can tell you, after years of doing those buyer consultations, I find out so much information about what my clients are looking for or not looking for before we ever go out anywhere. And let me tell you, you're going to find a lot of buyers for homes.
Right.
They're not going to know what they want until they go out, but land is massively different. It is, you should really know some set point questions to ask, and have a strategy moving forward to eliminate, because you can die an early death taking people to see vacant land.
Dude, let me tell you. That's why I bought a gun. And I learned my lesson kind of a freaky way.
Yeah.
And I've told you this story.
Mm-hmm.
But it was an eye opener. But I'm still here. I was actually hiding in a breezeway while they were looking at this cabin that we hiked into. Because both of them were male, and they were wearing skirts, and they both had pistols that you could see in their, I don't know what they call tights. They were wearing tights.
This is not that kind of a
It is. And I'm not kidding you. I was like, okay, I feel like I'm in some cult freaking thing right now. I left my wife back at the truck.
45.
I don't know what they had, but they were revolvers. and I let them in, and I said, hey guys, I'm going to go ahead and stay out here. I stayed away from the windows. I walked behind them when we were heading back out. And the next day I went and got a concealed.
Yeah.
We got a weapon.
Yeah. Well,
So yeah, it's really good to sit down with
my point was you can drive them to a lot of lots.
I was
And look-
taking it to the hill.
Yeah, I've had the old bulletproof vest pop out before, and but no, and here's the thing. I'd much rather be upfront with a buyer and be like, this property's just not going to work for you. Sounds great, you want to go look at it, go for it. But based off the info, and I just did this morning, guy wanted to go see some property down in St. Mary's. We spent 5 hours together yesterday looking at different properties. And I pull up my mapping system, look at the topo, and I'm like, this property that you want to go see is twice as steep. Here's the elevation gain over the distance compared to the one that you didn't even want to get out of the car for yesterday.
Right.
And he goes, thank you so much.
Yeah, you're doing your job.
I appreciate it. And some people, I think, infer that our job is just to go and show that property, which we really should be knowing what our clients are looking for and helping with that.
And how do you do that, Brian?
Well, you sit down with them and have a talk. Now I will tell you that things are fluid. They're going to change while they're out there.
Right.
That's just going to happen.
But that's part of the building that relationship
Absolutely.
and that client-agent relationship, and listening and doing our freaking job.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty simple.
Mm-hmm.
So here's a good example, right? So when we have clients that we know, because you know it as well as I do, when the client's like talking and hemming and hawing about selling their property, and you just know that they're not there yet. And so you set them up a search and you make it just as generic as they told you because you know they're not there yet, right? And you know, they click into it one time, 1 month, right? And you're like, okay, cool. And as it builds up, and they're like, hey Kyle, I think we're really ready. I said, well, hey, let's sit down. And then they say some keywords and you know they're ready. Then it's time to turn on the switch, right? And everything has changed. And now they're actually looking and they're seeing, because before it's like, I don't see anything I want. Well, you're actually not looking for anything you want because you're not ready to sell. You know, and that's what I told them. They're like, yeah, you know, we're not really seeing anything. I said, because you guys aren't ready to pull the trigger. You're right. A year later comes by and they're ready to pull the trigger and they're sending me houses that they're seeing on Zillow. Then I know it's time to freaking boom, boom, boom. Get to working.
Yeah.
For them.
Yeah. And there is so much power in having those early conversations. Yeah. Well, I'm not ready to buy, I'm not ready to sell. That's okay. Let's still talk.
Oh, absolutely.
Like you can run some of your thoughts by me. And this is what I do. This is what Kyle does every day.
Right.
That's his job, right? So why not have a conversation with the expert and talk about, you know, I kind of think that if I had this much money down, or if I kept my payments around here, or, you know, if I could do this. There's so many different options out there. It's amazing.
Well, you know, and what I'm learning in my 4.5 years in this business
is it real or fake? Is it fake 4.5?
Well, I shouldn't put myself down like that because I haven't been doing this long comparatively to some people. Like some of the people I look up to have been doing this.
79% of real estate agents don't make it more than 3 years.
Wow, we're the bomb. Well, I was sitting down talking with someone yesterday, and they brought it up while I'm at this barbecue. I'm like, hey, you know, we've really been looking for land, and you know, we're just not right there. And I'm like, hey, that's perfect, guys. You know, he showed me a couple properties he liked. He said, well, send me your email. I'll set you up, and I promise I'm not going to be bombarding you. I know where you're at. I can tell right now. And they said, thank you. We were talking to another agent, and all they did was push us. So there's a fine line between. Well, there's actually not. You're either there for them or you're there for you, I think. And I want to be there for the people who are putting their trust in me. And I want to build that trust. So that when it comes time, there's no other thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
But this guy was good to us. This guy listened to us. This guy didn't push us into anything. He was patient. He answered all of our questions for 5 years. Whatever, 10 years, I don't really care. Because at the end of the day, it's relationships. We know this.
Bingo.
And you can't build them if you're just out looking for yourself.
Nope.
You know?
Nope. And I'll tell you this, right now, the real estate agents that are looking for that instant business they're really going to struggle. Because this is a relationship business, and if you haven't been building those relationships all along consistently, and you don't continue to start to build those relationships with new people, you're constantly going to have a roller coaster career. It's going to be highs, going to be lows, and so when you get so stinking busy that you can't think straight, you still need to be having new conversations every day. And when you get so slow that you got no business and you're like, man, if I could just find that one buyer, I'm going to have an open house. If that's all you're focused on, you're going to miss 3 or 4 sellers that come through the door and that want to sell in a year.
Yeah.
You're going to miss those opportunities. So just keep building relationships. Business will come.
It's crazy. Like looking back in my career is I still, and you know me, we've had many conversations, let me push you around. We've had many conversations about this. Like, I feel like it's all kind of a miracle. I really, truly do. And you would, and Brian would tell me, nah, this is what you did. It was systematically, boom, 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 boom. And the funny,
has been very little systematically about it.
Right. There's nothing systematic about it.
You can quantify your success. How about that?
But, you know, so I'm kind of oblivious to it. But I think that's where it makes it so much more magical for me, and to be oblivious, because like I look back and like we built our business from nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, started out on my own and wasn't going to take crap from anybody or wasn't going to listen to anybody, so I did stuff the hard way, and next thing you know, it just kind of flowed in. How did I get my first listing? What my next door neighbors, they were going to be a for sale by owner.
Made a relationship.
I made a relationship, and you know what?
How'd you get your next business? You
A
made
door knocking with boots.
What
'cause
was your
they
next
like my
transaction?
boots.
Out of all the 100 transactions that you have you ever had one didn't have a relationship with the person?
Yeah. Well,
I'm not saying good relationship. I'm saying relationship.
it was a very fast relationship.
Okay,
It was about 7 days, and we sold it, and it was sign in, and it was over.
Yeah. Okay, and those happen.
Yeah.
I've had a couple of 1 weekers. You can close pretty darn fast with cash around.
And let me tell you, they didn't like it that it sold so fast. They thought I didn't do my job, and that kind of hurt my heart a little bit. But it is what it is. You know the truth is. I don't know where I was going besides, the beauty in this, and the beauty in these relationships, and how we were talking about this a minute ago, and how we're like in this median of real estate, right? And we're kind of flowing through it, and like some breeze or something pushes you one way, and you weren't going to go that way, but you did, and you ended up talking to somebody who likes you and wants to do business with you. It's that crazy of a dynamic. It's like there's a higher power involved, man. That's my opinion, and I won't drag out the pony, but
100%. And you get no water if you don't go to the lake.
absolutely, I'm going fishing tomorrow.
Well, you have to put in the work. Absolutely, there's a higher power that's involved. But if you just sit there on the couch and you never pick up your phone, if you just sit there on the couch and you never go to any networking events, you just sit there on the couch and you never go do an open house, most people are not going to be successful in that matter.
Well, I agree, and I also think how you were talking about the highs and lows.
Mhm.
Right? I think we will be going, and I will be going through that with the way my business is for a while still. It might be a few years, but I gotta put a shout out to a lady named Sherry Tilton. She's a Washington agent, and she's 70 years old, man. And this lady is dynamite. I was just talking to her today, and because I needed some help doing a safe search on the Paragon MLS, and I just said, Sherry, I just want you to know that I look up to you, and I just hope one day my business will be where you're at. And she says, Kyle, you're a hustler. You're going to be there. I said, it takes a long time. She goes, yeah, it took me a long time. And this lady is, I don't know how you say it, what she makes per year. She's bringing in net like $500K a year. But see, that $500K is a reflection of the relationship she's made. And she doesn't use any CRMs. She's just that person. And that's beautiful.
Yeah. There's lots of people, yourself included, that I've talked to that have had success on many different levels in real estate. And they say, I don't know how I did it. I don't know. I mean, literally, I go to my son's baseball game. Well, while you're at your son's baseball game, you talk to every single person on that. It's not rocket science. Oh, well, I don't know how I did it. I'm, on the PTA. Yeah, well, you ran the PTA for 15 years, and everybody knows what your favorite chocolate cookie is because it's like it is not magic. I promise you.
But it feels like magic.
It's not Disney World with Tinkerbell and sprinkles. It's not magic. It's not magic.
You see, he's taking the fun away from it. And you know what? I don't care what he says. It's magic.
Well, someone out there is thinking that it's magic, and they're like, oh, great, then I can just watch Netflix all day, and magically I'm going to get business, because you won't. You need to put in the work. You need to put in. For me, it's harder to go to a networking event than for you, because you're all fluff and talking to people, and I make it look like that sometimes.
I'm not fluff.
But you look, oh my God.
I am not fluff.
How's it doing, neighbor?
That's not fluff. That's called humor.
That's humor and fluff.
Hey,
you were just telling me how magic and twinkleberries it was.
But it is
and
magical.
Now you're not fluff.
But what a blessing.
If anybody's been to a party with Kyle, is he not one of the fluffiest there?
Hey, let me tell you something.
He's a big old teddy bear. Everybody wants to hug him.
Life is fluffy. Life is magical. Just the fact that we're alive is magical.
This podcast has gone so bad.
I don't really care at this point.
This was brought to you by Cool Whip.
Yeah. Hey, let me tell you this. I get it. Like, if you're a new agent, you get you go through your pre-licensing, you pass everything, blah blah blah, and you sit at home and watch Netflix. Yeah, nothing's gonna happen. Okay, and I know that because that's what I did for the first 6 months, thinking I'm a real estate agent.
Really good ways to kill your husband.
Right, exactly. But if you're out there and you're bumping into people, hey man, one time I thought these people couldn't afford their meal, and I give them a business card, I offer to pay for their meal, I give them a business card, and 2 weeks later I'm listing their sister's house because I was a kind guy. Hey, to me, and I see it, yeah, this is what you did, but that's magical to me.
Well, you didn't have to do that.
Exactly.
And you did it,
And
and
I
you
did
were
it.
rewarded.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
I love it. So,
Right.
if you got nothing else out of this podcast, just know if you get the correct, what is it, fairy wand,
Yeah.
you'll crush it. Boom.
I think you will.
Mic drop. All right. Been a great podcast with you, brother. I love it.
Love you too.
Brian King.
I'm Kyle A.
Peace.
That was a good one. I enjoyed that one. 20 minutes almost